Hey, how's it going, man? Good. Good. Yeah, you just hanging out, huh?
Yeah, about ready to go for supper.
I think I've already talked to you before.
Yep.
I did, huh?
Okay.
Okay.
That's your milk, huh?
Yeah, only half though.
Only half?
Only half gallon.
Mm.
So I woke up at 6. I got my water here. I fast all day.
Oh.
I gotta go through one of these waters, one of these big waters. Once I go through this water, I'm allowed to. When I go to the store to get another gallon, I get another gallon, and then this half gallon.
You have health issues or something?
No.
No?
No, it's just I noticed when I eat lighter, I feel better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. Like say you got 2 scenarios. In scenario A, you eat, and you could choose anything. You could insert healthy foods in this arbitrary example.
Yep.
You can insert healthy foods, but we'll just use a generic example to explain what I'm preaching about. So in scenario A, you eat 1 slice of pizza for breakfast, 1 slice for lunch, 1 slice for dinner. In scenario B, you eat all 3 slices for dinner. Now, objectively, in a 24-hour period, they are the exact same 3 slices. You got the exact same macronutrients, micronutrients, all the exact same food. But in scenario B, you experience a fasted state.
Oh.
Okay, your body, when you're not putting food in there, it hydrates easier. It's able to clean itself. You're clear thinking. That's how the ancestral eating patterns were. If you think about it, it was once you eat, you go into rest and digest mode. Think about it. They were. After a week or so, they're going around, tracking this woolly mammoth. Then they get it down. I think they would logically stuff themselves and rest, and then go about getting their next meal.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of truth to it. Fasting. I think there's a lot of magic. It's and really all it is. And some people will argue, well, it's going to be really hard to eat the 3 slices of pizza. All for dinner. It's like, no, you'll eat. I just broke my fast. I started at 6 a.m. I woke up and I'm drinking water. And just 30 minutes ago, I touched my first meal. I broke my fast with some ice cream cones.
Yep.
4 of them, the Kemp's ice cream cones.
Yep.
4 of them. This half gallon of milk. and I feel great. I'm starting to get really relaxed and starting to feel sleepy.
Yeah.
If you, all that stuff there, that ice cream and that milk, all that's plenty of calories. That's a lot of calories. That's plenty of it. So at the end of the day, it's calories in versus calories out. You got to think about it. If you're burning 2,000 calories in both of these scenarios where you eat 3 slices of pizza, scenario B though, it's all for dinner. It's still the same calories. Like if you eat 2,000 calories worth in pizza, and you're throughout your movement you're burning 2,000 calories, then you're gonna stay the same weight whether you have them all for dinner or you spread it apart. You're gonna stay the same weight. You know, whether you spread them apart or have them all for dinner, if you have an extra slice, so breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner, in this scenario 4 times. Over here, all 4 slices for dinner. Now you're getting more calories. You're still only burning 2,000 a day, but now you're getting 2,500 calories every day. Well, there's 3,500 calories in every pound of fat. So those 500 extra calories, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 500 times 7, you'll be gaining 1 pound of fat every week if you keep that up, because you're surplusing yourself. It's always been like that. It's always been calories in versus calories out. So you got that going for you. And it's such an unorthodox way. You'll never hear nobody tell you this. It's such an unorthodox way to lose weight, get healthier, and get on a diet. It's like if I said, Monday you fast all day. At 5 p.m. for dinner, you go to the King Buffet. You eat as much as you want, eat whatever you want to your fill. You only eat once a day. Tuesday, then you're gonna go to Golden Corral. You'll rotate it. It's called the buffet OMAD diet, 1 meal a day diet. You know, you don't have to cut out any foods. You don't have to go for protein, this or that. You eat whatever you want. You're just reducing your eating window. That's what's happening with people. They're just eating too much, too often. That's food makes you sick. Once your body's grown up, you know, once you're 22. I know some people still grow till 25. Food, you need to form a different relationship with food. After your body's grown up and developed,
it's just for maintaining.
Because if you go eat some chips, it's gonna put 100 miles on your engine. If you go eat some chicken breasts, it's gonna put 50 miles. It's still gonna put mileage on you. The food still puts mileage on you, whether it's healthy or not. And then there's genetics coming to play too. But I really like this technique, and I'm glad that you've heard me out, and I've been able to share this with you. You know, it's no different than if maybe you had some sort of ailment and you had been researching the internet and the web for something, and you came up on a video where a gentleman is explaining this thing, to help yourself. But instead of seeing it on a video, you experience it in a real person. So I better get going, and you enjoy your dinner. What's on the menu today?
I don't know. Not a salad. Maybe a salad for supper. Eat light for supper.
Yeah. See, that's the other thing too. If you could pull it off, this would be a great eating schedule too. Wake up, have a big breakfast, have a great nutritious big breakfast, and then fast the rest of the day. So the food's in you, because that's the other side of the argument. Don't eat too close to bed because it affects your sleep. I don't know if I believe that, because I sleep just like a baby when I have a big meal and then go to bed. You know, but if you are for that other debate, that other side of the coin, then I could see how it could be really good. You wake up, you eat your breakfast, you're done eating for the day though after that. And as you're moving around, going about your day, it's actually being actively digested. You know, and
digested, and you're burning it too.
You're burning it at the same time. So that could work, but I've noticed that, just like the Bible says, sin leads to more sin. Well, I've noticed that anything leads to anything more. Anything of whatever it is will lead to more of it. The more you do something, the more likely you're to do it. Something weird like that, but it's like, so I feel like if you wake up and the first thing you do is eat, you're just setting a perpetual hunger cycle. Like you're just starting, but some people don't want to believe that. They don't want to believe that. It's like, well, how'd you get unhealthy and overweight? Well, you ate too much, too
More
often.
than you burned.
The what?
Ate more than you used.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
Well,
and here
they were just storing it up for a rainy day. You know,
yeah.
like storage might run out. I'll be ready. I'm ready. Stocked up.
Right. And then okay, so now we're gonna use, you know, depending on the level of intelligence of the person who's receiving this information that I'm sharing, they might see my generic pizza sample as inferior and too silly. But if you know the gist of what I'm saying, now I'm going to insert the healthy version.
Okay.
You wake up for breakfast, you have 50 grams of protein, 100 grams of sweet potato carbs, and 25 grams of fat. Half of it's avocado, the other half is a whole egg. So you're eating a wonderful breakfast. You have that 50 protein, 100 carb, 25 fat for breakfast. Then for lunch, you have something similar. And then for dinner, you have something similar. Well, at the end of the day, with these health gurus, you would have accumulated 150 grams of protein, 300 carbs from healthy sources, and 75 grams of fat from healthy sources. Do that, but have it all for dinner. And you'll have these guys that will say, well, I'm not going to be able to eat that. It's like, you'll eat it, trust me. You'll still eat it. And if you don't finish it, if you don't finish the same amount of food, this healthy food, you know, on this scenario, you have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then on the next day, you listen to me and you're like, well, I'm going to bunch it all up and put it in my lunch bag.
Right.
And at 5 p.m., I'm going to eat it all together.
Yeah.
And then 5 p.m. comes and you're going to break your fast. And you don't eat it all. That tells you something else, too. It's too much anyways. It's too much anyways. Well, yeah, too much at one time. But it's also, you could say it's too much anyways.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It was too much anyway. So, you know, maybe you don't finish all of it. You finish like 4/5 of it. Well, then maybe the next day, you know, divide that 4/5 into the 3 again and see how you feel. And then the 4th day, take that 4/5 and just eat it all for dinner. Yeah. And that's probably going to be the right answer, that 4th scenario. That 3rd one isn't bad. It's like, well, if I didn't eat all day, when I ate it all together, I couldn't eat it all. Well, I'll just take that, what I was able to eat, and divide it into 3. That's what I should be eating. Because to say that from the time you woke up till the time you had dinner, that to argue that you somehow were going to disappear into the wind because you hadn't ate, that's not true. No, you will be fine. Yeah. You will be fine. That is a very short amount of time to go without food.
I've fasted a few times with medical procedures. You make it through the day.
You'll make it. Yeah. They've shown many studies that you reduce an organism's caloric intake by 20%, and it always lives 20% longer. It lives longer. You cut its energy by 20% intake, and it will live 20% longer. Makes sense. It makes sense. Now, this is for practical general population health. Okay. Obviously, if you're trying to be some ginormous bodybuilder, which that in itself is just unnatural either way. Right. You know, you don't need that much strength. You just need some practical strength. Right. You know, you don't need a squat. No. 300, 400, 500 pounds. No. But you do need to come down here and grab something from the bottom shelf and come back up. That's what you need. Yeah. So what I'm saying, all this stuff that I'm doing is revolving around that idea for the practical person. You know. But you know, even then for a bodybuilder. So on scenario A, you have a 10-ounce ribeye for breakfast, 10-ounce ribeye for lunch, and a 10-ounce ribeye for dinner. I don't know about you, but I think it'll be just as easy to eat a 30-ounce ribeye just for dinner. But you experience that fasted state. That's the wonderful part, is you experience that fasted state. And you already got the freebie from the 8 hours. That's why it's called break fast. Yeah, that's a big lie right there. Obviously, I'm not going to preach this to a growth.
Break the fast because the supper, it's nighttime, right? You fast
yeah.
at night?
Well, there's a lot of arguments that a lot of big corporations and companies, it was an incentive for them to say breakfast is good. And it makes sense on a biological standpoint if you are a developing, growing child.
Okay.
I am not going to preach this to not only eat dinner to a growing person.
Right.
You know? But that is, you know, that's how you do it. And you know, them Asians, they know this kind of stuff. Them Asians are smart. They know weird little things like that, you know? You ever been to an Asian's house? They always make you take your shoes off. You gotta be barefoot at home, and that promotes relaxation. Not only that, it promotes
Clean floor.
being what?
A clean floor.
Yeah, and it promotes like makes people more at ease. It's like, hey, welcome to my new bar on 3rd Street. It's called Dave's Double. It's my new bar, right? Imaginary scenario. My rule is we've never had one bar fight. I've been open for over 10 years, and ever since the beginning, I make everyone take their shoes off. So that's how powerful that effect is. Nobody ever wanted to start anything barefoot. They feel vulnerable.
Yeah.
So that it creates this atmosphere of.
You're too worried about not stubbing your toe.
Yeah. So I'm glad that.
The Karate Kid, then I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I think my supper might be about ready.
Okay, my friend. I'll see ya. Take care. What was your name?
Calvin Smith.
Calvin Smith. Oh, okay, nice to meet you.
You are
David Perez.
David Brent?
Perez.
Perez.
Yes. David Alexander Perez.
Oh.
Marino.
That's from Alexander the Great, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what my dad named me. That's my dad's name, that second one.
Okay.
David is my dad's. Alexander is my mom's.
Oh.
Perez is my dad. Moreno is my mom. Yeah. Those things, I always thought those things were kind of strange. You're supposed to sleep in the back of them, huh? It's like a bed only that you pull along. You crawl inside of it.
Yeah. They're great for vacationing.
Yeah, I wish I had an RV. A good RV. Or just, one of those bigger vans too wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
I better get going. I'll see you, Calvin. See ya. Hey. 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 Ai, güey. Ah. Haha. Cash money. Hey. So hot. Yep. 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 Hi. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. Walking around, getting my steps in. Check out my YouTube when you get a chance.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, check out my YouTube when you get a chance. Thank you, bro. Uh-oh.